Here, it's a no-code AI agent application that I've put together to show you how to use Pydantic AI Capability to extend the behavior of an AI agent. We've already seen how to create an agent by using the agent class from Pydantic AI. Here, I'm just providing a UI to capture information from the user to create the agent. So let's say we want to create a company assistant, like a company agent. So let's say we want to create an assistant for a company, Anthropic. We'll provide the name, we'll provide instructions, we'll select a model, and then here we'll select capability. So capability in Pydantic AI is a modular unit of behavior that we can plug in to our agent. I have one capability here, company knowledge. So this company knowledge capability, I use it to retrieve information about the company. So let's go to next. All right, so here I'll provide a name for the company. You could provide a URL, a link to the company, or you could provide the information in this. You can just paste the information about the company in the text box. But I'm going to use a URL. So I already have the Wikipedia link for the company Anthropic. When I click on create agent, it sets up the ingestion pipeline. So let me click on it. All right, so ingestion is in progress. So here's an overview of the ingestion pipeline that is currently running in the background. And I'm managing this background task using ingest. So the ingestion pipeline starts with crawling. I'm using this library, crawly, to manage the crawling. So we'll crawl the website, get the content from the website, and then we chunk. Chunking is the process of breaking up the text content into smaller units that we can then feed into the embedding models. So I'm using this chunky library for chunking. And then for embedding, I'm using an embedding model from OpenAI. And so the embedding model will return the vector representation of the content. And so we'll take all that and save it in Postgres DB. So I have pgvector enabled on my Postgres DB. And so we'll save the information there. All right, so this is the typical ingestion flow for a normal RAG implementation. And so this is what we'll use for semantic search. Over here, we have the flow for graph retrieval augmented generation. So in here, I'm using Neo4j for the database. And for the extraction layer, I'm using Graphiti. So we get the content from the crawl state and we pass that content to Graphiti. So Graphiti has an LLM that it then uses to analyze the content. And from the content, it extracts entities and relationships. So those entities and relationships are then saved in our graph database. All right, the ingestion is complete. Let's see the Inngest Dashboard. So here in Inngest Dashboard, you can see the run completed and you can see all the steps. You can see the crawl step. You can see the embed to pgvector. You can see the add to graph steps. All right, let's see the Postgres database. Here in Postgres, I'll go to tables. I'll go to knowledge chunk and I'll click on this. And there you go. You can see the content and then you can see the vectors. So this is what we'll be using for semantic search. All right, let's see the Neo4j database. Here in our Neo4j dashboard, I'm going to paste this query. And you can see the graph. Let me go full screen. You can see all the nodes and their relationships. You can see Anthropic. And you can see how it relates to every other node. All right, so let's test the agent. I could test the agent from here, but I want to use the widget application. So I have a widget application here. So right here. So I'm just going to copy the ID of the agent, paste it into this widget project, and I'll be able to interact with the agent from here. So think of this as your chatbot on your website. So this is the widget part of the application, and this is like the control panel. This is the part that I will build and publish to NPM registry and give the user to put on their website and then to load up the widget on their website. All right, so let me copy the ID. I'll come in here, and I'll copy the ID here, and then I'll paste it in the widget. So here in the widget project, I'll come in here, and I'll just paste it in here. This is what I'm doing for now, so I'll paste it here. So now I'll refresh this, and you can see Anthropic Assistant. So let me just provide a name. Use Jane. I'm going to start chatting. So I'm going to paste a question. So who owns Claude? Now, let's see what the agent is doing from Logfire. So I'll go to Logfire, and you can see Anthropic Assistant is already logged on Logfire. So it's using our agent, Gemini 2.5 Flash. So these are the two functions that Company Knowledge Capability has. So you can see it called the search knowledge graph, and then it called the search knowledge. So search knowledge graph uses Neo4j to retrieve information, and search knowledge uses Postgres to retrieve a response. So this was a response from search knowledge graph, you can see. And then this was the response from Neo4j. And so this is what the agent then used to generate this final output that you see here. So the widget, and you can see here the response. All right, so it's also showing up here. Here in Pydantic AI documentation, I want to show you a few things. So it says capabilities can provide any combination of tools, lifecycle hooks, instructions, and model settings. So these are the 4 things that we can use capability to provide to our agent. I want to show you third-party capabilities. So here under third-party capabilities, it says capabilities are the recommended way for third-party packages to extend Pydantic AI. So you can see a bunch of third-party packages that are built off of Pydantic AI, and they all were built with capability. So you can see this, you can see context management. There's one I want to show you, which is agent skills. All right, let's create a capability that gives our agent the ability to research on the internet and also to send emails. All right, so here in our project, I'll go to backend, I'll go to agent, and you can see the capabilities folder. And we already have the company knowledge capability here. So I'm just going to create research, and I'm going to create a file, research capability.py. So in here, I'll create a class called research capability. Just put this for now. Now this research capability will be a data class. Just put a data class from data classes, import data class. Right, great. So next thing is this research capability would inherit from AbstractCapability. So AbstractCapability is a Pydantic AI class that we can use to create capabilities. So AbstractCapability. So let me bring that in. IntelliSense is not picking it. So let me just go from Pydantic AI .capabilities, import AbstractCapability. All right, so research capability is inheriting from AbstractCapability. And so because we are inheriting from AbstractCapability class, let me show you something here. If you remember object-oriented programming, right, we can override methods from AbstractCapability. So let me show you a few of those methods. So for example, you can see in here, we have get description, we have get instructions, and we have get model settings and get tool set. You can see all of them in here. Let me show you the ones for hook. So you can see the ones for hook. So we can override the behavior for before model request before tool executes, before node run, we can modify the behavior here. So for this particular capability, I'm going to be using get instructions. I'm going to be using this. I'm going to be overriding get instructions, and I'm going to be overriding get to set. So for get instruction, I'm going to be returning a string, and because this research capability would need to have access to the internet, I'm going to be using a service called Tavily. And so Tavily is a service that we are going to be using to access the internet, and Pydantic AI already has a custom tool implementation for Tavily. So here in Pydantic AI documentation, you can see Tavily Search 2. So Tavily Search 2 allows you to search the web for information, and is built on top of Tavily API. And so in here, I'm just going to copy this. Now install it by running uv add this. All right, so now I have Tavily installed. Let me close this. All right, so I'm going to go from Pydantic AI .common tools .tavily import Tavily search tool, and then over here I'm going to have toSet function toSet. So function toSet is from Pydantic AI, so I'll import that. So function toSet, and then I'll have toSet.add tool. So I'll just add that Tavily search. Now Tavily search 2 expects you to provide an API key. So I need to create an account on the Tavily search platform and then get an API key. So here on Tavily's website, I already have an account. You can see I have 1,000 monthly credit, and I already created my API key. So I'll just copy it and paste it in my environment variable and use it from there. All right, so I'll go to settings. And here in settings, I'm going to paste this. So I have, in my environment variable, I have Tavily API key. So I'm using Pydantic settings to read content from my env file. So I have the properties saved as Tavily API key. And so I'm just putting this here. So now I'll go to capability and I'll import settings. And so here I'll just provide settings dot Tavily API key. Great. And so in here I'll just return toSet. So this is toSet. Yeah. All right. So let me provide instructions. So I'll just provide this. You can use Tavily Search 2 for research. Great. So we have this capability. So let's create the other capability for sending emails. So I'll create a folder, email. Then I'll create a file, email capability.py. So in here, I'll just import from data classes, import data class, and then over here, data class, and then create class email capability, and we're going to inherit from AbstractCapability. So let's bring AbstractCapability in. IntelliSense isn't seeing it, so let's go from Pydantic AI .capabilities import AbstractCapability. All right, great. So here I'm going to do the same thing. Just go get dev get instructions, and also get toSet. So for email capability, I need an SMTP server to send an email. So I'm going to use Resend, an online service, to just handle all that. So I'll go to resend.com. I already have an account. Just sign in. All right, so here in Resend, I'll just go to API keys and copy the API keys and add it to my env file. So I already have the API key, so I don't need to go through that step. So I'll go to settings and just paste this. So I already have Resend API key in my env file. So now I'll go back to email capability. I will create a tool to send an email. So over here in Resend, there's a piece of code here. So if you click on this, there's a piece of code here for, this is Node.js. So this is for Python. So for Python, I will just copy this. So you can see the piece of code. You need to install Resend. So I need to install Resend in my project. So I'll just run uv add Resend. Great. So now I'll copy this piece of code. I'll copy everything and I'll just bring it in here. So for now, I'll just comment this out. All right, so in here, I'll create a function, get tools, and in here, create toolset, function toolset. Just do this toolset dot toolplane, and then I can create a send email tool. And then here, I'll just return toolset. Right, so this is what I will then return from here. So in here, I'll take this piece of code that we have and I'll pass it into, no, let me copy it from here. I'll take this piece of code and I'll just pass it in here. So Resend, I'm using settings. So I need to bring in settings. So that's from settings, import settings. So I need to bring in settings dot Resend API key. All right, so in here, I need to provide a tool email. So that'll be a string. I also need to provide a subject. And then I need to provide a body for the message. So that'll be a string as well. So I'll just replace this with body. And I'll replace this with subject. And I'll replace this with tool. Let me change this email. So I'm just going to change this to my domain. So this domain is already verified with Resend. And so I'll just put research email. And so here, I'll just return this. All right, so let's take this off. Let's sort out instructions. So I'll just replace this with this. You can send emails using send email tool. All right, so email capability is ready. Now we need to make the frontend aware of the two capabilities that we just added. All right, so I'll go to routers and inside capabilities. So you can see I'm just hard coding for now. Here, I'll just copy this and paste it here and paste this here. So here I'll just say email and I'll put this as email. And here I'll go research and then name is research. We don't need require knowledge. We don't need require knowledge. So I'm just putting a little description. Send email to a provided email address. And then this would be research any given topic. So the next thing I need to fix is the resolve capability function. So here inside AGUI, so you can see we have this normal AGUI endpoint that handles our streaming. And so in here, when a request comes in, so when a user is interacting with the agent, we connect to the agent table, and then we get the agent information. So once we get the agent information, then here we resolve capabilities tied to that agent. So let me show you in this resolve capabilities. So you can see we're passing the agent information from the DB to this function. And then you can see the agent information from the DB has this capability list. So it just takes a list of capability IDs. So if the ID is company knowledge, we are paying the company knowledge capability class. So let me add the others. So if cap ID is equal to email, then we're going to append email capability. So that's the email capability class. So just bring it in from here. I need backend, just bring it in from here. All right. So if capability is research, then we'll bring in research capability. So let me bring that in as well. All right, so that's all for resolving these capabilities. Let me show you how we create the agent. All right, so yeah, we'll call this create agent function, which is a factory function. So let me show you. So you can see inside the function, we have our agent class from Pydantic AI. So import from Pydantic AI. And so we're passing the name from the front end, and we're passing instructions. We're passing the model that the user selected. So you can see here, we're using the open router. So we're passing the model, and then we're passing the capabilities that we just resolved. And then we'll return the instance of the agent. So that's how I'm setting it up. We get the agent and pass it to a GUI right here. All right, so let's test our new capabilities. We'll create a new agent. So I'll call this agent research assistant. Then I'll say you are an expert researcher. I'm going to use this model, and you can see we have those capabilities showing up now. So I'm going to select research, and I'm going to select email. And so I'm going to click on create. So we have research. So now I'm going to start a chat. So I'm just going to say Smith. I'm just going to put a random email. All right, so I'm going to go to tempmail.org to get a temporary email. So I'm just going to copy this. All right, so I'll just go send me a Tailwind CSS formatted email on for the list of top posh centers in London. All right, so let's go to Logfire and observe. All right, so Tavily Search is the tool from our research capability. She's doing the research. And then it called our send email to. Great. And it's done. Great. So let's check the email. All right, it sent the email. So let's see the email. Great. All right, so that's it for the video. If you found value in it, do like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.